don't even know how I want to start. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, we're on testing 1, 2. Oh man. Great day to each and every one of you, and I am excited to be with you in Talks with Tillett today. Have a lot on my mind as we were leading up to doing this recording. I was talking with Brother Malik, and I said to him, I guess I used the term mad, or I guess it could be maybe upset. How about disappointed? Wrapped up into one big shell. I mean, if you want to call it, as it relates to, and this is no secret to any of you, the Supreme Court's decision. Let me say this to each and every one of you, and I said this on yesterday in Bible study. Voting has consequences. I don't know how to say it any plainer than that. It's not an enigma. It's really not a secret. It's not a mystery. Voting has consequences. And can I say this to you? You are seeing the consequences today. You're seeing them today. And you're seeing it all over the country. Let me take this moment and say I'm extremely concerned, as many of you are, about the Supreme Court's ruling on affirmative action. Affirmative action, as we once knew it, is no more. Listen, voting has consequences. It really, really does. We may be talking about not making decisions based on race as it relates to higher education, colleges and institutions. But my brothers and sisters, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is the beginning of what we're getting ready to see all over. And so my question often is, are we in a place in our country where everything is fair? We certainly want it to be, but most of us know that it's not. And I was looking at a poll just the other day. I don't really know when these polls come out who they poll, because I never received a call, and most folk that I know that I'm connected to have never received a phone call as it relates to polls anyway. So I don't know who they're polling, but it suggested that most Americans seem to be happy and excited about the Supreme Court's decision as it relates to affirmative action. I guess if you never had to deal with the challenges that African Americans had to deal with in this country for years and years, as a matter of fact, since the inception of this nation, I guess you would be happy about it. I guess you would be smiling. I guess you would say everything is going to be fair now, when we know that it's really not. Most folk that own major institutions in this country, businesses in this country, whether it's banking institutions, whether it's even some of the educational institutions, or major grocery store chains, various industry in this nation, or sports teams, are folk that don't look like me. And most of the people that run those corporations, from upper management, even to lower management, even to the employees in those companies, don't look like me. We know that to be true. We know it. And we know there's an issue. We know there's a problem. as it relates to ownership. We know there's a problem as it relates to hiring persons to work in management, and again, just employees working in businesses. I know it to be a fact because before I was a pastor, I worked in corporate America and I experienced it. I experienced racism in corporate America. I experienced it even as a citizen driving my vehicle around. I was talking to somebody the other day. I can count the number on my hands, probably beyond that, of how many times I've been pulled over and watched this and said, "You don't look like you're supposed to be in this neighborhood. You look like the way you were driving, maybe you had too much to drink. This car that you're driving doesn't really fit you." And I can tell you, in every single situation, I had to have that wonderful conversation with the police officer about how, yes, this neighborhood I'm supposed to be in because I either lived in the neighborhood or I owned property in that particular neighborhood and I was there on business. No, sir, I was not driving intoxicated. Well, first of all, because I don't drink. And so that wasn't the case. And it goes on and on and on and on. And I pray and I hope that I'm just not rambling, but I'm trying to make a point. And the point is that systemic racism still exists in this country. And we need something in our nation to, if I could use this word, no pun intended, to police what's happening in our states. We need that. States' rights can be a dangerous thing. We know it because we've experienced that in this country. And so all of what you see happening is because of either one or two things. A failure to go out to the polls and vote because you don't think your vote matters, or because you did vote, but you failed to vote for your interests, not realizing that when you did vote, you were going to end up where we are today. Let me just say this for those who may feel like your vote really doesn't matter. It does. And like I said earlier, because voting has consequences, your vote matters, and don't you ever let anybody tell you that it doesn't matter. Popular culture may want you to believe that your vote doesn't matter, but I came by here to tell you that it does, and you need to vote. You need to vote. We all need to vote in every single election. Don't wait for the general election to vote. Vote in all elections. Vote for your school board. Vote for your local mayor and city council and vote for your state officials. I mean, you need to vote. It is important. All of the gerrymandering that you see going on, all of the other stuff that you see, I know I'm preaching to the choir, that you see going on is because of one's inability to vote or one's failure to vote. Let me say this. Our ancestors bled and died for the right to vote. Do you know that there was a time prior to the Voting Rights Act of 1965 that persons who would go in to vote or attempt to vote, even in some instances after that, would attempt to vote? Do you know that they would hold up a glass of marbles or jelly beans and you would have to guess how many were in there in order to vote? And if you did not guess the right number, you were not able to vote. Do you know what that's called? That's called voter suppression. How about today? Some of the laws that they're trying to implement as it relates to voting, whether it's several pieces of ID or whatever it might be, it may be something altogether different today, but can I say this? The meaning is the same. Voter suppression. Don't you let anybody keep you from getting to the polls. As a matter of fact, whatever they come up with, we're going to do everything in our power to offset that by doing what? Making sure that we have the proper identification or whatever we need so that when we go to the polls, there is no excuse why we can't vote. I guess by now you can tell I am concerned and I am disgusted about what's happening in our nation today. I am. So let me say this to you, if I can. You want a scripture? I give you one. James chapter 2 and verse number 26. Let me cut to the woods, cut to the field to get to the other side of the road there. Faith without works is dead. You can have all the faith you want. You can have faith that you're going to get a job. You can have faith that these doors of opportunity are going to open up and meet you where you are. But you can't sit at home and expect it to happen. You have to get in the game and you have to help make it happen. What am I trying to say to us? As Paul said, or I'm sorry, as James said rather, he was dealing with a community of people that operated off of what they called faith, but there was no action to go along with their faith. I'm telling you today that there has to be action to go along with your faith. Yes, I have faith that we can have a better nation. I have faith that things will get better. I have faith that one of these old wonderful days we will be treated as equal citizens in this nation. I have faith, but I can't sit on the sideline and just have faith and just pray and hope that something's going to happen. I have to get out there and make it happen. And may I suggest to you today that all of us get in the game and that all of us will do our best to make things happen. Your vote matters. Get out there and vote. Get out there and get involved. Get involved in your community. Get involved on your school board. As a matter of fact, there's some of you I'm talking to right now. You need to run for office. We need to get involved because we need to make a difference. If we don't, there are other people who are going to make decisions for us, and we are going to find ourselves back where we came from. I don't know about you today, but I'm ready to move forward. And I want you to move forward with me as I have a sense of excitement, I must say, that God is going to help us get to the place. But again, we got to work together to make sure that it happens. And again, I can't say it enough. Make sure you go to the polls because your vote matters. Voting has consequences. Let's come together and let's clean up this mess that we see going on today. Let's make a difference. God bless you. I thank you for this time today. I apologize if you feel like I've been rambling or you feel like I've been going on and on and on, but I just feel it in my spirit. I felt that God wanted me to say this to you today. We got a lot of work ahead, but I can do all things through Christ who gives us the strength. God bless you. Peace and blessings.